रजिस्ट्रेशन वगैरह पहली बार ही करना होता है,
क्योंकि एक बार हो जाएगा तो रोज थोड़ा ना।
हाँ नहीं वो सर फिर करना पार्टिसिपेंट्स को क्या आता है
तो दोनों आए।
तिवारी सर नहीं जुड़ पा रहे क्या?
हाँ सर,
तिवारी सर
जुड़े हैं भाई? नहीं जुड़े हैं
अभी नहीं।
लोग नहीं जुड़ पा रहे हैं।
वीडियो आपको कैसे करेंगे वीडियो?
हाँ ये तो यहाँ
आ गया ना वीडियो?
अरे वो तो बाद में चलेगा। हाँ सर,
इसको शेयर करो ना इसमें।
तिवारी सर जुड़े हैं भाई? नहीं जुड़े हैं अभी? नहीं जुड़े हैं। ये सुनूंगा जब फिर चलेगा क्या? एक तो ऐसी दिक्कत हो रही है, फिर लोग छोड़ के हाँ इसमें चेंज करना हो जाएगा किसी तरीके से, लेकिन अब वही लोग नहीं जुड़ पा रहे हैं तो हमारे पैनल वाले। हाँ सर, जुड़े हैं भाई? नहीं जुड़े हैं अभी? नहीं जुड़े हैं।
नेट बहुत बेकार
किसका? अरे वही हेलो। हाँ तो हेलो, चेंज कर। नमस्कार। हाँ नमस्कार। हाँ 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 12 बजे के आसपास में, 12 बजे के आसपास में। जी जी हाँ जी ओके। ओके हाँ एकदम ओके सर। ओके सर। ओके हाँ 12 बजे के आसपास में, 12 बजे लिंक कर दिया लिंक के लिए। हाँ
और ये लिंक जो मैंने डाल दिया इसको वो एकदम वापस हो जाओ चैट में।
हाँ एकदम भर जा रहा है ना, सो तो नहीं पा रहे हमें लग रहा वो भी। हाँ 12 बजे के आसपास में, 12 बजे सेटिंग में गड़बड़।
ये आपका नेटवर्क
हाँ एकदम जीके सिंह नहीं जुड़ेंगे, सुशील तिवारी देखते हो। सुशील तिवारी यह सुशील ऊपर जोड़ दो। तुरंत हो जाएगा। सुशील तिवारी जी जुड़ गए हैं। योगेंद्र सर
जी सर
सुशील तिवारी जी जुड़ गए हैं। स्पीकर आना है इसमें ना। तिवारी जी जुड़ गए हैं। हाँ आ रहे हैं सर। आ रहे हैं सर। तिवारी जी जुड़ गए हैं। ये आ रही है ना? वो चल रहा क्या?
यूट्यूब पे चल रहा है ना, यूट्यूब पे भी चल रहा है ना।
इसको इसकी आवाज खत्म कर दो। हमारे हमें तो पॉज खत्म होगा, दूसरे थोड़ा होगा।
शायद पता
नहीं हमें ही खत्म होगा, दूसरे थोड़ा होगा। अरे चलता रहेगा,
सही है ना।
प्ले अच्छा हाँ प्ले ना होगा हमारे यहाँ, बस चलेगा तो लाइव तो रहेगा ही।
लाइव चलेगा
हाँ बस ठीक है। वो भी चल रहा था, वही आवाज कर आ गए तिवारी सर। नहीं आए हैं? हटा रहे हैं, फिर वो वही हो जा रहा है ना, वो चक्कर डर रही है ना, ज़्यादा लोगों को खोल दो तो पता चला कि वहाँ डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगा उनके माइक बंद करते करते। फिर से सेटिंग करनी पड़ेगी, थोड़ा सा घटाओ फिर वही हो जाता है। जी सर, जुड़ तो गए थे आप? नहीं सर, मैंने तो आपको पैनल पे भी लिया, पता नहीं अब आइए, 95 कर दिया है, आइए आइए। 95 किया है मैंने, घटाना पड़ रहा ना सर, ये 100 को पे पता नहीं क्या चक्कर फंस गया इसका। ये पिछले में प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुई थी, इसमें वो दिक्कत नहीं है, समझ में आया? अब ये इसमें दिक्कत कर रहा है। आरसी सिन्हा सर जुड़े हैं, बस आप आ जाइए तो आप थैंक्स बोल दीजिए, फिर शुरू कराते ना। अरे वही सर, अरे सर आप आइए। सुशील तो कोई और सुशील थे क्या? ये चैनल कर देंगे ना, तो नहीं जुड़ पा रहा, थोड़ा सा रेज हैंड कर देते तो थोड़ा सा दिक्कत नहीं होगी नहीं। अब कर दे रहा है इसको। जो भी डॉक्टर लगे हैं उनको कर देंगे, बोलते हैं थोड़ा सा थोड़ा घट जाएगा, किसी को मौका मिल जाएगा जुड़ने को, 200 तक तो हो सकते हैं ना।
इसका नाम सुशील बड़ा या अभी तो सूचना रहती है। नहीं पता चला।
तो शुरू कराया जाए।
हाँ, अभी जो जुड़ नहीं पाए ना लोग, 2-3 लोगों का वही वेट कर रहा था मैं।
ओके ओके।
हेलो।
हाँ
हाँ नीरज जी।
जी सर, जी सर, तिवारी सर जुड़
हेलो।
गए विपिन जी।
हाँ
जी सर, जी सर।
हाँ, आवाज आ रही है हमारी?
जी
आ
सर,
रही
जी
है
सर,
सर, आ रही है।
धन्यवाद, सबको नमस्कार।
नमस्कार सर,
नमस्कार सर,
नमस्कार।
आपको भी सादर नमस्कार।
नमस्कार नमस्कार। नीरज जी बाहर मत कर दीजिएगा हमको।
हेलो।
हाँ,
जी
बार बार बाहर कर दे रहा हमको।
जी सर। ओके सर, ओके। किस which name sir, which name on screen? प्लीज हैंड, प्लीज हैंड अप कर दीजिए सर, वहाँ पे हैंड्स अप कर दीजिए जी। ओके ओके ओके, सो सर, ओके सर, हो गया सर, हो गया हो गया।
हाँ,
ओके, कौन? हु? ओ टुडे, टुडे participants, today panelist is no sir. So today is most important. Okay sir, जी ओके सर, ओके ओके ओके। आर यू ज्वाइन? आर यू नाउ ज्वाइन?
ওই আমার ও yes
योगेन सर,
yeah I can see myself now.
Yes, yes. Good morning, Matthew sir.
योगेन सर शुरू करें?
Okay. Hello everyone.
So Professor
योगेन सर शुरू
Marmar
करें?
Mukhopadhyay is here.
Let's be start.
Myself Arshi Sinha, joined
Okay. Let's be start.
Arshi Sinha from IIF.
नमस्कार
नमस्ते जी।
सर, नमस्कार डॉक्टर साहब, सिन्हा साहब। नमस्कार सर, नमस्कार, प्रणाम।
नमस्कार।
आपी का नाम तो
नहीं दिख रहा है, अब किस नाम से आएंगे ये भी नहीं पता। प्रोफेसर मरमारी आ गया। हमारा पैनल पूरा हो गया, बाकी जुटते रहेंगे लोग ने।
Sir, let me start.
योगेन सर स्क्रीन शेयर करिए भाई, आप बाहर हैं।
नहीं, स्क्रीन शेयर पे
आप अपना वो करिए, आप कहाँ दिख नहीं रहे हैं इसमें।
वीडियो तो
I am on the line since
गायब हो जा रहे हैं
I
योगेन
can't
सर।
see the panel. I can see only one face at a time.
योगेन सर स्टार्ट करें?
okay.
Basically, I know the problem is they don't know how to manage the screen because only Dr. Singh is only one face is coming and Zoom has much more facility. So,
सर स्टार्ट करें। तिवारी सर स्टार्ट कर दे।
हाँ, क्या मैं शुरू करूँ स्वागत भाषण?
सर एक मिनट
हेलो।
में सर आपको कॉल करता हूँ ना, इनवाइट करता हूँ।
ओके ओके।
हेलो एवरीवन, गुड मॉर्निंग, नमस्कार, सुप्रभात। माई सेल्फ डॉक्टर योगेन सिंह, एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर केजी के पीजी कॉलेज मुरादाबाद, co-convener of this international workshop. I heartily welcome you all in the behalf of IIF and KGK College Muradabad. Here we are organizing 7 days workshop on the challenges and opportunities of e-learning in the context of education philosophy. Sponsored by ICPR New Delhi. I again welcome all of you.
भाई आप
Now I would like to invite
अच्छा वो अभी शुरू किया भी रहने।
Director of International Buddhist Center, very talented, our senior Professor Sushil Tiwari sir, who will introduce the dignities of this international workshop. Please, Sushil Tiwari sir.
नमस्कार सबको, नमस्कार। With the permission of chairperson, my guru, Professor R.C. Sinha, I would like to speak in Hindi. And those who are unable to understand Hindi, I will try to explain my views in English. सर्वप्रथम मैं आप लोगों को
फोन आते ही
7 दिवसीय वेबिनार वर्कशॉप जिसका शीर्षक है चैलेंज एंड अपॉर्चुनिटीज ऑफ ई लर्निंग with special reference to educational philosophy, organized by KGP College Muradabad and sponsored by ICPR in collaboration with World Educational Canada and International Buddhist Center, Siddharth Nagar and IIF Muradabad. First of all, I will try to extend my greeting to my guru, जो मेरे गुरुतुल्य हैं प्रोफेसर आरसी सिन्हा, जो इस वर्कशॉप की इनाग्रेशन सेशन में अध्यक्षता कर रहे हैं। इसके बाद मैं आई विल
अरे पापा
heartily accept Professor Maithul Alam, who will deliver keynote address in this inauguration session. I will also like to respect, bow and salute Professor Murmur Mukhopadhyay, who is a learned scholar of his field. I, I, I would like to extend my greetings to Principal KPG Muradabad, Dr. S.D. Sinha, and also I welcome Chief Guest of this inaugural session, Professor Madam Suryakanti from Mauritius. I would like to inform you that our collaborator in e-learning from Terras company, Mr. Vikas, will apprise all of us about module of e-learning through his practical demonstration. Last but not least, आज के इस वेबिनार वर्कशॉप को ऑर्गेनाइज करने के जो भी हमारे मित्र हैं, अनुज हैं, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी डॉक्टर गिरीश कुमार सिंह, डॉक्टर सुनील चौधरी और अनिलेश सिंह, योगेंद्र सिंह, एसपी यादव और ऑर्गेनाइजिंग कमेटी के समस्त सदस्यों का मैं इस वर्कशॉप में स्वागत करता हूं और उम्मीद करता हूं ये वर्कशॉप हम लोगों के लिए एक महत्वपूर्ण मील का पत्थर साबित होगा और इस कोविड के नाते जो हम शिक्षक अपना ट्रेडिशनल वे में क्लासरूम टीचिंग नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, आपस में जुड़ नहीं पा रहे हैं, हमें एक वर्चुअल माध्यम के माध्यम से जुड़ना पड़ रहा है, तो इसमें एक हम लोगों को एक नई दिशा मिलेगी कि कैसे हम अपने नॉलेज को आपस में शेयर करें। इस दृष्टि से मुरादाबाद का केजीपी कॉलेज एक बहुत अच्छा प्रयास कर रहा है। इन लोगों ने विगत वर्ष अभी कई महीनों में कई सेमिनार और लेक्चर सीरीज आयोजित किए, इसके लिए मैं इन सब का आभारी हूं और पुनः एक बार आई वेलकम ऑल ऑफ यू इंक्लूडिंग ऑल पार्टिसिपेंट हु आर बैकबोन ऑफ ऑल दिस workshop, because if there is no listener, there is no need of no worth of speaking towards everybody. श्रोता के बिना वक्ता की कोई महत्व नहीं होता है, इसलिए जो पार्टिसिपेंट हैं, जो हमको एक पीछे से एक दिशा दे रहे हैं, एनर्जी दे रहे हैं, उनका भी मैं हार्दिक रूप से स्वागत करता हूं और विदेशों से जुड़े हुए जो भी हमारे आचार्य हैं, all the intellectual from foreign who are joining us, we wholeheartedly welcome in the land of India, Bharat. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Namaskar. योगेंद्र जी।
सर जी सर।
हेलो।
थैंक यू सर।
आवाज आ रही थी कि नहीं आ रही थी?
सर आ रही है सर।
आवाज आ रही, थोड़ी धीरे है, धीमे है।
अरे धीमे है क्या? पूरी बात नहीं हुई क्या?
इसका प्रॉब्लम होगा, ऑडियो का प्रॉब्लम तो है।
हेलो
शुड आई रिपीट अगेन?
नहीं हेलो सर, आवाज आ रही आपको?
जी आ रही सर, आ रही आवाज आ रही।
तो शुड आई रिपीट अगेन?
ओके थैंक यू सर।
नहीं we have heard you.
या
थैंक यू सर, बहुत बहुत आभार आपका। एक बार पुनः मैं इस अंतर्राष्ट्रीय वेबिनार वर्कशॉप के अवसर पर समस्त प्रतिभागियों, आज की डिग्निटीज और अति महत्वपूर्ण अतिथियों का हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन करता हूं। यह 7 दिवसीय अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सेमिनार III केजीके महाविद्यालय मुरादाबाद, वर्ल्ड एजुकेशन बैंकाबोध और बुद्धिस्ट इंटरनेशनल सेंटर सिद्धार्थनगर की तत्वाधान में आयोजित की जा रही है, जिसको ICPR नई दिल्ली द्वारा स्पॉन्सर्ड किया गया है। मैं ICPR के अध्यक्ष महोदय और समस्त आईसीपीआर का भी इसमें स्वागत करता हूं। इस अंतर्राष्ट्रीय वर्कशॉप में हम लोग कोरोना काल में जो एजुकेशन के सामने कुछ चैलेंजेस हैं, उन चुनौतियों को, उन चैलेंजेस को ई लर्निंग के माध्यम से कैसे सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, उसके लिए अपने विचार साझा करेंगे। और कुछ हमारे एक्सपर्ट हम सबके बीच में नई विधा के माध्यम से, नई तकनीकी के माध्यम से हमें अवगत कराएंगे। मैं पुनः आयोजन समिति की ओर से आप सबका हार्दिक अभिनंदन और स्वागत करता हूं। अनिलेश सर से अनुरोध है कि वे आज के इस कार्यक्रम को शुभारंभ करने से पूर्व एक वीडियो शेयर करेंगे। हेलो अनिलेश सर।
हाँ जी,
हाँ शेयर कर दिए सर, कर रहे हैं।
हेलो,
हो गया शेयर सर?
ठीक।
This is the sun. One whole sun put together makes an effulgence of which he shines. The obstacles of worthiness he removes. All actions.
सर ये अनिलेश सर, ये वीडियो प्रॉपर व्यू नहीं हो रहा है।
I follow it.
जी सर,
ये वीडियो प्रॉपर व्यू नहीं हो रहा है, इसको है ना ऑफ करना पड़ेगा।
नहीं शेयर हो रहा?
हाँ, प्रॉपर शेयर नहीं हो रहा है। शेयर हो रहा है लेकिन वो चल नहीं पा रहा है।
हटा दे।
हटा दीजिए।
चल नहीं रहा वीडियो।
आप ठीक है? आप ठीक है?
नहीं, वीडियो चल नहीं पा रही है सर वो।
रहने दे।
हाँ
वीडियो चल नहीं रहा।
जी सर।
चलिए ठीक है, ओके। ठीक सर, ओके, आगे बढ़ा दे सर। योगेन सर आगे बढ़ाए।
यस यस यस। एक बार
Please understand, I have limited time.
यस यस। हाँ
I won't be here for whole day. I'm actually working on something else.
ओके ओके।
I just snatched this time.
एक बार पुनः आप सभी का हार्दिक अभिनंदन और स्वागत। बिना किसी विलंब के मैं आज इस वर्कशॉप के डिग्निटी और चीफ गेस्ट प्रोफेसर मरबार मुखोपाध्याय, जो चेयरमैन है एजुकेशनल टेक्निकल एंड मैनेजमेंट एकेडमी गुड़गांव हरियाणा से, आपको सादर आमंत्रित करूंगा कि आप हमारे बीच विचार साझा करें। प्रोफेसर मरबार सर, प्लीज वेलकम सर।
Okay. It's the volume is not very clear. Did you ask me to present?
यस सर, यस
Okay.
प्रेजेंट सर।
oh, but you must introduce the speaker. Please introduce the speaker or self introduction. Organizer, please introduce the speaker.
एक मिनट।
Actually, audio is very weak because none of the audio is very clear. Are you able to hear me?
यस सर।
Okay. What I'm going to do, I was trying to share the screen.
शेयर करने का।
Let me see whether I can share the screen.
शेयर करना है स्क्रीन।
अच्छा,
अरे
शेयर नहीं हुआ।
are you able to see the screen?
शेयर तो दे रखा हूँ।
हाँ वो शेयर हो रहा था पहले जो आया था शेयर पे आया।
All panelists allowed for sharing screen, sir.
Okay, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I'm going to do, because the time is really very short, I'm going to talk mostly on the pedagogy of online education. But before that, let me tell you that anybody talking about educational technology, there is a perception among the listeners that as if somebody is a salesman. Because I've been attending quite a few such kind of webinars. There's no such agenda. It's basically telling what it is all about and then take it or leave it kind of a thing. First important thing that we need to understand is how the human beings learn, because that is the most important part. Application. So, yeah, okay. So I'm going to skip a couple of these and go to the something which I think is important. There are two words which are always used. One is online education, another is e-learning. Online education is the word of the providers, like a government or a university will provide online education, and e-learning is used for the person who is taking the access to it. So it is student's language. First important question is, what is the science of human learning? Everyone has got already a stock of knowledge which is called cognitive structure, or many people talk about previous knowledge. Second level is gathering information. Gathering information is not learning. Then it moves to the next stage, which is called knowledge formation. So information comes to knowledge formation. So there is some more information available, and then that knowledge is processed, information is processed, and then it becomes knowledge attainment. And that is the knowledge. When it reaches there, the original cognitive structure gets expanded or enriched. Now, the psychologists have difference of their views in terms of how the information is collected. For example, in a conventional institution, lecture is the most dominant mode, although research says only 10 to 15% are left from what a student listens to a lecture. But we have great attachment to lecture, although it is actually least effective. But anyway, this is the one which is cognitivists also support the lecture method. Then comes text, web search, video, online chat. So now the information can be collected from multiple sources, and that is exactly what is happening in online education. Let me also mention that what is happening today, and people are using the word online education, it is basically a makeshift arrangement. Somebody asked me last night, I gave them the analogy that when we marry out our daughter, we prepare for 6 months, 8 months. But if by chance the Barati lands up at the bride's house, then the parents make some arrangement. So it is exactly that is the situation which is happening now. We are doing something. For example, you could see how much you struggle to set the screen. Now, because we don't have preparation time, it has all on a sudden come. The reason is many of us would struggle for last 40 years to promote education technology, which we could not do. Coronavirus could do it in 3 months. is a much better teacher than most of us or all of us put together in the world. Now, important point in the online education that knowledge is being gathered through a number of channels. We call it multi-channel learning. And then it goes to this information is stored in temporary memory and it is lost, which we call forget. Then these are the techniques: reflecting, researching, consulting, problem solving, discussing, experimenting, assignment, assessment and feedback, all of them put together, or each one of them have the contribution of what we call information processing or knowledge processing. This you will find depending upon the cognitivist or constructivist or even constructionist, which viewpoint you are taking. It's a matter of philosophic conviction. So science of learning we have to understand, then only you can build up a new context for online education. If why online education is becoming increasingly popular, there's a prediction that by 2050, 90% of undergraduate students in the world will be taking courses from online sources. It's flexible. It can be taken anywhere, at any place, at any pace. One doesn't have to finish in 3 years. Like Indira Gandhi University at 8 years. I was chairman of National Open School. We had 5 years. 2 years course can be finished in 5 years. You can take one examination at a time. Every year there are 2 examinations. So there is a lot of flexibility. It's essentially low cost. Very long time ago, Professor Rudradas did a study of conventional correspondence education. For every one graduate of a university, 6 graduates are produced by distance education. And for government, it is much cheaper because it basically requires a couple of good material. Here, the learning material is much more quality assured. Like I recently did a work for COL, Commonwealth of Learning, on Athabasca University's program on Telmo. They took 6 months to prepare just about 3, 4, 5 modules and some of the best experts in the world and some videos. Seamless networking. One of my village teachers, he was undergoing this Telmo program of Athabasca, in which there are 4,000 candidates from 93 countries. And the village school teacher of West Bengal could connect to anywhere in the world. This is going to be continuing education main mechanism. For example, if you go to Coursera or FutureLearn, etc., you will find a 2-day course on diabetes management. Now, these are the things which will be coming. For example, many people use PowerPoint presentation like I'm using, but many of the PowerPoint presentations are not readable. They just put out the 12-point size or 14-point size. Now, for example, it doesn't require a long course, but there could be a course which is just 1 day, 3-hour, 4-hour course on. So continuing education is one. Differential duration. You can take very short courses and you can take fairly long courses of 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And its beauty is it is just in time. When you need, you can get. For example, as I told you, somebody has got a diabetes now. Obviously, he did not need to know earlier, but now we can go to the diabetes course and take it in 2 days. This is the development of online education in the world. Originally, it was in 1960, and it was Plato in University of Illinois. When I say that, I feel a little nostalgic because I was in that university. 2009 came Udemy, 2011 Udacity, 2012 edX, Coursera, FutureLearn. 3 major players came, and our SWAYAM came in 2017. Now, this online education institution did not start as a private initiative. Like edX is Harvard's. 3 professors of Princeton, Stanford launched 3 others. SWAYAM is government, so it is not commercial endeavor. Coursera is a British Open University. So the whole, Coursera or Future Learn, I have to check. So these are the agencies. There are actually many more. These are the largest number of students are enrolled with them. Plato, of course, is just historical importance. It is no more important because Plato was at the time when there was no World Wide Web. World Wide Web is 1991. So you can see rest of them are products of World Wide Web or Internet. This is the current scenario. Coursera has got 45 million students. edX has 24 million. Udacity has 11.5 million. Future Learn 10 million. SWAYAM 10 million. Now you can see the number of learners in each one. And by the time I'm presenting to you, this data is outdated. I can't have access to the data right now. Courses are 3,800, 2,640, and 1,000 for SWAYAM. There is a concept of micro-credentials that you can take piece by piece, you can collect. It's also called badges. You can take one at a time and store it. When it is, you get the qualifying number, you go out to the university, you say, I have got the qualifying number. Then degrees, many of them, and as I mentioned that SWAYAM has been promoting that universities and institutions should offer degree programs because this will dramatically reduce the cost and also increase the quality. This is just a graph to show the trend of growth. You can see is growing much faster. By March, April 2020, internet user worldwide is 59.6% of the world population. Why this data is important? Your online education is completely dependent upon internet. So internet and your ability to access. 61.67% mobile phone feature phone users. 45.15% of world population have smartphones. And 49% of world population are users of social media. This is important. This is what is the prospect. Because of this thing, that e-learning or online learning will expand very fast and much faster. And all of them are actually going further because this is, as I told, this is March, April 2020. We are standing on August. This data is already outdated. India's online students, they perceive convenience, flexibility with commencement, dates, etc. Yes, and internet search. There are very interesting research. I don't know whether I have it in my slide today. That 80% of the educators, they believe online education is better than the face-to-face. And there are studies to say that students in online education perform better than the regular students. Of course, many of the research is not yet done in India because India is just beginning. As per last year's statistics shared by Coursera, what's the largest open line? There are 13 lakh online learners from India alone, compared to 180 lakh online learners for Coursera. So what is the percentage? It's not 10%, little less than. But then one has to see that out of so many countries, India alone accounts for 13 lakh. As I mentioned to you, these are some of the important. University Grants Commission is promoting this certificate diploma courses other than courses or programs in engineering, law, medicine, dental. It's very interesting. Not only that you and me are changing, even UGC, Government of India, Ministry of Human Resource Development, a couple of years ago, they said no distance education. Then they all turned over. So coronavirus has not only taught professors like you, it has also taught administrators and ministers that this is the right way to do. So it's a great teacher. Deliver through learning management system. Most of you are familiar with Moodle and other delivery system. This is what I was talking about. This is actually my main contention because I'm currently working on the pedagogy of online education. I recently did a good study of 3 schools adopting online education and how they are using it. If time permits, I'll share with you the case study. Now, the moment we look at a total concept map of effective online education, you can see how many elements are involved: teachers, assessment, technology, course structure, administration, pedagogy, collaboration, and then you. So it's a fairly complicated, and that is why anyone who starts online course in a professional manner, whether British Open University or Athabasca or German, they take a lot of time to prepare. And you'll be surprised that Indian University, Open University has not been able to launch it. It's a very interesting situation. So, three important principles that people have been able to find. I'm quoting Bill Play's work. Longer engagement. Students must spend longer time on learning tasks. It's borne out by many other research in the previous research also. The interactivity, asynchronous, collaborative research and other projects, because unless there is interactivity, the peer group and student-teacher interaction, the knowledge or information processing gets stuck. Striving for presence, teacher social presence, cognitive presence, and teaching presence. These are big challenges that how does in online teacher can provide cognitive presence, like I'm giving you my cognitive presence, but I don't know how far my teaching presence is there, my social presence is there. So there are many things that we have done some research on learning analytics, and these are the many things that actually go into making the pedagogy of online education. This is a case study of a learner. I was talking about a primary school teacher from India was taking a course from Athabasca on Telmo, technology-enabled learning. So what is important is got the registration confirmed online, motivation and eagerness to participate and learn. He was himself very keen. He did not have to be motivated. This is an important point on online education, because here the onus of learning is on the learner. So it's very difficult for a teacher to motivate. So this is one strong, call it strength or limitation, that it's very difficult to motivate. And if you look at the data on Coursera or others, the success rate, completion rate is only 12%. Even the study that I did for COL, Commons of Learning in Vancouver, where Professor Matiul Alam is situated in British Columbia. They know the curricular plan. The student knew exactly what is the curricular plan. Learning material in textual format was online available, very high quality. I've seen those material. Learning material in video is an important point I'd like to clarify to you. For example, video tolerance is hardly 6 to 8 minutes. A lot of people are recording 30-minute video without realizing that it's total waste of time and waste of money and energy. When the government of India started making MOOCs, I had retired long ago, so I had no voice in government. They're doing 25 minutes, 30 minutes. I said, you are just wasting public money. These are not MOOCs. MOOCs is not a full educational kit. Online education still depends much largely upon the textual material. The MOOC videos are nano videos, short videos, which does what we call in Asubel's language, advanced organizer. Prepare the learner to learn. So the problem is, you cannot make a 4-minute, 5-minute video without very serious preparation. In a minute, we talk about 85 to 90 words to make it very clearly understandable. So imagine in 5 minutes, you are talking only 450 words. And Athabasca has done a beautiful thing. It's a 1 minute or less video called summarization video. If you ever try it, you will find how difficult it is to make short video, but that is the only video which learners watch and learn also. Assignment and feedback, they are given a lot of assignment and feedback, formative assessment. And remember, one tutor, his name is Nathaniel, he had 4,000 students. Asynchronous interactive session, for example, in a discussion group, you put a question and I'm another student. I need not answer now. I come back from work and I see in the night your question. And I thought this question is worth responding. So asynchronous, but then we are interacting with each other. And that is what discussion forum personal attention and feedback by the faculty of the learner. I still wonder how Nathaniel used to give feedback to 4,000 students. मान लीजिए कि 4,000 में से I think complete किया था 330. Even 330, how did he do it? I mean, my long career in teaching for more than 50 years, I am unable to make out. Then project-based assessment of outcome, and then certification. The interesting part is this experience was so good that this primary teacher, out of his own choice, took another course from IIT Mumbai, now doing psychology from Indira Gandhi Open University. Now, this course has enthused him, inspired him to take more courses. It has nothing to do with his job. He's a primary teacher. Whether he does it in psychology or not, it has nothing to do with him. The research on online education, which I was trying to tell you, students in online education are found to perform better than their counterparts in face-to-face learning. It's a very serious threat to all of us who teach in conventional situation. Online education is at least as effective as the traditional face-to-face format, but remember, the rider at a lower cost. 77% of academic leaders thought online education was equal to or superior to learning in face-to-face classroom. 85% students with experience in both face-to-face felt that online experience was better than the classroom courses. This is a changing face now. MOOCs and Open Educational Resource. This is an initiative of UNESCO. They actually started in 2002, but the name came in 2012. Basic idea is providing quality learning opportunity to students at no cost. So most of you are familiar with Creative Commons license. So all Open Educational Resource has Creative Commons license. But in my report to COL, I have questioned the agenda behind, but that is not our agenda today. Another new thing is emerging is learning analytics, because as I recently read a very interesting paper by a British Open University professor, two of the major challenges they are facing is isolation, all over the world, isolation. I mean, we were talking the other day to a child who goes to the school because of this pandemic. He cannot go, he is taking online classes at home. So we asked him, so he said beautifully in Hindi, and I'm sure Hindi is no problem in this group. He says, school जाने का जो मजा है ना, वो इसमें नहीं, वो मजा नहीं आता है. Because when they go to the school, they play, they eat together, they jump together, they kick together. They are missing that one, that isolation and personalization. So one of the very interesting cases was, British Open University found that through learning analytics, that one person was performing pretty well, all of a sudden his grades are going down. So they called him up on phone and asked what is the problem. And he says he had a problem at home. So they counseled him, rather than losing your grades, why don't you take off for 6 months? Because there is flexibility. After you have solved your health problem of your wife, why don't you come back after 6 months so that you don't lose your grades? Now, these are the new generation things which are happening because of learning analytics provides that kind of thing. This is the process of using data to improve learning and teaching. Big data, many of you are familiar. Micro credentials, I was telling about the digital badges, when you can keep on collecting this. Chote chote ikattha karke. And bite-sized learning, that is the same thing, that you are taking you are picking up small things, but the moment you put together, they become a full-fledged learning. By 2050, 90% graduate enrollment will be in online courses. So those of us who have retired, we are safe, but you have to think of our younger generation. Well, I stop here. And if you have any question, please feel free.
Can I ask question? Hello.
Hello, yeah.
Thanks Professor Mukhopadhyay, you
I'm not
have
able to hear you.
delivered a very
Sound,
nice and
sound is not clear.
informative
Sushil sir, sound is
lecture
not
to
clear.
us. I want to only know whether I am not audible.
No sir.
Yeah, that's a problem here.
आवाज आ रही, अब आई,
हाँ अब आ रही है सर, अब आ रही है, पूछिए सर।
आवाज आई?
जी सर आस्क।
नहीं तो डॉक्टर सिंह ऐसे बुलंद आवाज है वो हमको बता
हेलो
देंगे।
हेलो हेलो, आवाज आई?
हाँ आ रही है सर, आ रही है सर, बोले सर।
हाँ, thanks Professor Mukhopadhyay, you have given a very nice informative lecture to us and inform about the future of e-learning. I want only to know whether the face-to-face learning, the importance of face-to-face learning is not diminishing due to this. I think that face-to-face learning is very important and it is a human-to-human conversation. In the e-learning, I know that there is not human-to-human conversation, but there is a machine, there is a program. Is it not a derogation for our education and knowledge? Please.
Well, whole question today that will be this very common question which is asked almost everywhere.
Yeah.
Face to face, the difference is teacher has three roles:
Yeah.
communicating information, influencing, and inspiring.
Yeah.
Majority of the teachers are trying to communicate information which machine does better. But machine cannot inspire. Machine cannot influence. So there's a beautiful saying by Sir Arthur Clarke. He said, if a machine can replace a teacher, let it be. Question is, how many teachers, particularly in the colleges or universities, know the names of students? They go to the class, take the class. If they are teacher of geography or chemistry, they rattle out chemistry and geography, come out. Where is the personal touch? The whole question is, you are right, the personal touch no machine can give. And that is where even UNESCO's, the current International Commission is working, how to locate a place for the school. School means school, college, whatever it is. How to locate that space is important because human touch is necessary. For example, mother is not the great scholar, but mother is the best teacher. So there is no debate about it. The question today is, and this is what is beautifully said, that if a teacher can be replaced by a machine, let it be. The another important thing is, teachers using technology will replace teachers not using technology. Because technology does the job much faster, much smarter. Human quality, affective quality, no machine can take. Human cognitive quality, machine can take. One has to understand the affective domain, which unfortunately in education, we have not been able to look at the affective domain very seriously. Any other question?
Sir, simply I want to know whether it is not impact of post.
Instead of dialogue, can I get somebody else? Because हम दोनों बात करेंगे, it becomes dialogue. Anybody else?
Anybody question? Any question other?
Get some younger generation.
No sir.
Sujata Kalra has a question. Okay, Abdaito has asked a question, what is the drawback of online education? I have already mentioned, first important drawback is online education cannot personalize, cannot give the personal touch which just now he asked. Second important point is because it has no personal touch and it is dependent upon the learner, the dropout or wastage rate is 88%. People don't complete. It's a big problem. How it is possible to make 4 to 5 minutes? It's very much possible because I make films. I've made almost 40 films. What you have to do is you have to first write down a script. Make a script for whatever you want to say, make it 450 words and record it. How can exams be conducted online? Well, actually, there's a large number of online tests available. Even I have made one on assessment of employability skills. Currently, what effort is going on, this question has very important relevance. The objective type test is no problem. You give the test, you immediately get the result. Now the artificial intelligence is being driven in to see whether it is possible to read a short essay type, short answer type answers, and figure out of that one and score it. But so far, it has not been tested out. Okay, another question: how to online stress? There is no online. Actually, online education is the least stressful because it has the flexibility. As I told you, what is happening now, it is not actually online education. It's a makeshift arrangement. Online education, for example, I was talking about the Athabasca University, their course for teachers. It's called 15 to 35 hours to be done in 35 days. So see the enormous flexibility. Oh, how we can do experiments. I recently observed one class of a school teacher. She was at home and the children were in their own home. And she was demonstrating with whatever available at home. And I myself questioned what you asked me. And everybody was doing, the child was doing the experiment. But what happens if the experiment required sophisticated apparatus? So this is a limitation, but remember, there are a lot of computer simulated experiments happening. For example, Charles law, Boyle's law, you cannot prove because pressure cooker is already closed, so volume is limited. How do you know whether pressure and temperature is relating to each other? But in computer graphics, it is possible. Molecular movement is possible in computer graphics. So there is a lot of agencies are working on this kind of a framework. Well, language teaching is relatively easier because whether you teach them online, what are you teaching in language? You are teaching linguistics and you are teaching literature. Now, linguistics, for example, how many of you learned grammar first and then Hindi then? You see, all of us learn absolutely accurate mother tongue without learning the grammar. And why we don't learn the second language? Because we learn the grammar first and language then. Okay, Dr. Mohabir. I'm talking about feeling, okay? Yeah, this is what I'm told you, that this feeling component, affective component is something which we have not been able to solve. So thinking online education is a solution for everything is not correct. Even the world leader like British Open University, Fernstad, Athabasca, Thailand, they are not able to solve it. You are absolutely right. It actually delivers the cognitive part better, but the affective part still now we don't know the solution. Yeah, anybody else? Face-to-face interaction, we develop what? Online is one-sided, thank you. Well, as I told you, online education is not an alternative to face-to-face. It's a complement. It has come because of pandemic. But at the same time, it is ruling the world because of its lot of advantages, like very short courses. You don't want to take a long course. You don't need to. For example, in USA, any day, 50% of its workforce is on continuing education. Now, if you are working, if you are a professor, if you are a business executive, you cannot go to a course. You have to take short online courses. Now, my submission to all of you is don't see online education either as a solution to everything or a threat to formal education. Two things work together. It is something like we say in psychology that mother is indulgent and father is exacting. You need both. Father exacts. Ye karna hai. Mother comes and gives a pat. That is also important. Yes, Mr. Robin, what is your question?
जी सर, योगेंद्र सर,
How to bridge the great digital divide? This is a very normal question. What is the digital divide? Have you thought over it? There are two things. One is digital divide is access to technology. Another is your skill to use the technology. If you look at your own home, your children, or like Professor Singh, his students are much better off on technology than Professor Singh himself. So the digital divide is not having a machine, but skill. The other important thing is that India's mass smartphone penetration is enormously high. I did a work for Bihar. That's the tail end state in terms of educational development. USAID had commissioned me. When I went there, because I was told how to train 500,000 teachers without taking them out of the school. So only choice was mobile learning. So Chief Secretary, Minister, ICT, everybody said they don't have. I went to the remote rural area in a DIET and I asked whether they have phone. Everyone had a phone and every phone was better than mine. So please understand this digital divide has to be explored first. It's at the moment a catchword and little fancy word because many people like it. Digital divide is much serious in terms of our skills. Younger generation, right in this group that you are attending this workshop, almost any one of us who are little we call senior are less skilled on technology, exceptions apart, compared to the younger generation. So digital divide has to be seen much more seriously, not in the common terminology. What is problem is different. Problem is you may have the equipment, like you have got the phone, that's enough. You don't need laptops. The moment you have this, your problem could be internet connectivity because bandwidth is not available. One of the Delhi University students, my grandson, he went to the village and then got stuck. Delhi University was delivering online. He couldn't get access. So I had to tell him, go to the bank of the pond. Ghat bolte hain hum log Bangla mein, aap log bhi bolte. He went to the ghat and then got the connection. So he had to sit in the ghat and do his job. Yeah, anybody else? Thank you, Robin.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर. सुशील सर आगे बढ़ाएं. सुशील तिवारी सर.
काइंडली आगे बढ़ाइए सर. थैंक यू प्रोफेसर उपाध्याय.
Thank you. Okay.
Very, very thanks, sir.
Can we talk later on you?
Pardon?
Sir, can we have talk later on you on phone?
Yeah, you can call. You can call.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
नेक्स्ट मैम सूर्यकांति मैम, सुन रही हैं? आवाज आ रही है? सूर्यकांति मैम, आपका ऑडियो म्यूट है, अनम्यूट कर लें.
थैंक यू.
मैडम सूर्यकांति मैम है, जनरल डायरेक्टर एजुकेशन मॉरिशस.
That's right. Yes, namaskar. Good morning to everybody.
Are you invited for your speech? Some words.
Thank you very much. Well, First of all, good morning and namaskar to all the eminent scholars who are gathered here. It's a pleasure to have joined you. I've been listening to some of the comments being made. Of course, these are questions that we are all addressing, both perhaps as individuals, as parents, and as professionals and academics. So I'm going to be brief, speaking from the point of view mainly of a lay person. I'm not at all in technology, except as a user in my day-to-day activities as head of the institution. I would like to perhaps just share with you the kind of questions which I keep asking myself when it comes to the use of technology in education. As some of you may know, the Mahatma Gandhi Institute, which I head at present in Mauritius, has a secondary education section to it and a tertiary education or university level section. So when we are speaking of the use of technology in education, as an institution, we have to address both the way young adolescent learners would interact with the technology and with their educators. And we have to look at how the young adults who are in tertiary education will use the technology and question their own lecturers. These are the two levels as background. Now, I would like to quote from a study that was rather an article that appeared in 2016. And I'm sure there are many others like this, but I just wanted to share this one with you as an introduction to my own thinking. And I'm quoting from Lewin and Lundy. The article is entitled Philosophies of Digital Pedagogy. Quote, although many philosophers have extended Heidegger's analysis of technology, disputing the presumed ideological neutrality of technology, the presumption of that technological neutrality remains commonplace. Many legal and pedagogical innovations still presuming technology to be ethically neutral. Recent developments in the philosophy of information and computing, however, have begun to acknowledge the importance of philosophical reflection at the design level, although the application of these directions to philosophies of education remains nascent. To my mind, the two important elements here are, one, the presumed ideological neutrality of technology, and second, the fact that we're just at the beginning of this reflection in the context of philosophies of education. And for me, this question of the ideological neutrality remains fundamental. We've been hearing just now about whether students are at par on a level of parity when it comes to themselves facing technology and facing their educators or their lecturers. And that's only one of the questions as far as ideology is concerned. Are we sure that technology puts everybody at par? Or is there fundamentally a divide, not necessarily in terms of material means, but perhaps in terms of how elements of culture are embedded in the technology and therefore may respond to the needs of some profiles of students in one way and respond differently to other students? And how are educators, or how are academics equipped in order to be able to understand the limits of that technology when they are addressing learners who have their own learning styles, who have their own strengths and their own weaknesses in the face of that technology-mediated transmission of knowledge or of academic knowledge. The second set of questions that I find particularly crucial is how to enhance the critical skills of students in the face of the vast and very indiscriminate volume of information that is available at a click to learners. If we ask students a question, it's easy for them to have access to a vast array of information. How are we equipping them to develop skills in order to discriminate as far as that information is concerned? How dependable is it? How far is it limited? How far is it out of context? And therefore, how are they going to prepare themselves to resituate the context of that information being transmitted to them in order to be able to build their own argument with respect to questions that they are asked with respect to their assignments? And that is particularly important because from experience, I can say that there are articles, in particular when it comes to newspapers and magazines, when you have e-versions, the article may change overnight. So you may be looking at it on one day and building your response to it. And by the next day, it's already been edited and it's appearing in another form. Keeping track of this is extremely difficult. And the student must be able to realize that he is addressing only one version that was available at one point in time. And this is fundamentally different from when we look at print material. You're looking at scholarly articles. You know that if it was published in 1999, it is still in the same form and the same content today. And perhaps young people do not realize just how fluid that information is, and therefore how much of caution they have to exercise in addressing, in making use of that body of information when they are building their own process of thinking, when they are building their own arguments in responding to questions and responding also to real life challenges. And the third set of questions relates to teaching and learning as such. And academics have to have in-depth understanding of the potential benefits and the limits of those platforms and tools that they are using, and in order to be able to respond to students' need in creative ways. And here I would like to mention something very specific to the Mahatma Gandhi Institute. We have two schools that deal directly with practical fields, the School of Fine Arts and the School of Performing Arts. Both these fields, and we have at the Rabindranath Tagore Institute film production. So that's a third field where face-to-face interaction between the lecturer and the learner, and the practical engagement with the creative process is fundamental. And if we are to adopt the technologies in order to be able to reach out to the students in situations of which have peculiar constraints to them, for example, during the confinement, but also in situations where it's maybe difficult for students to travel, to come to their place of study, and we want to be able to be more accessible. We are broadening access, but we've got to be fully aware of how the technology has limits or what the potential strengths of the technology are in order to get the students to benefit optimally from the use of that technology. I think that thinking still remains to be done, and to be done very, very seriously, very concretely, in order to be able to reach a certain set of processes, a certain set of modes of working, in order to be able to respond in an optimal way to the expectations of our students. And finally, I will stop with this final point. As far as I'm concerned, certainly not the end of the thinking, but certainly the end of my address to you this morning. And it's the question of issues of democracy in education, issues of individual rights as well as abilities. Students have their distinct learning styles, and their more autonomous modes of acquisition of knowledge puts an onus on the one who is imparting knowledge to ensure that there is that parity. Now, where does the responsibility of the lecturer stop? Where does the adult learner take on board his or her own learning process and ensure that the objectives of the program of study, the purposes for which the program of study have been put up are being achieved and are being met? And what kind of responsibilities fall on the institution to ensure through its quality assurance processes that what is being mediated through the technology still achieves the standards, the forms, the breadth, and the depth of understanding, of knowledge, of skills, of intellectual abilities that we expect students to have attained at the end of their program of studies. I think I'll stop here, and I'm sure I've said things that all of you have been thinking of in much more professional manners, but I thought it would be interesting and also meaningful for me to articulate these questions, because these are questions that we are going to take back with our own colleagues, our colleagues, some of whom are here today from the School of Indian Studies and the School of Indological Studies, but the other schools as well, as we strategize how we are going to engage with the new technologies in our new programs of studies and in transforming existing programs in order to be able to make them respond to the new learning environment that the new technologies have brought, but which also, with the recent experience of the COVID-19 and the confinement, that has brought to us an awareness of the immediacy of the situation. We can no longer say that we can choose not to engage with the technology. We have no choice. We have to engage with it, but we've got to understand its strengths and its limits in order to be able to transform the challenges into opportunities, in a way to re-echo the theme, the wording of the theme of this morning's workshop. So I'll stop here and thank you very, very much for your attention, and in all humility, say all the very best to all those of you who are resource persons contributing to this ongoing reflection on the new technologies and the opportunities.
Thank you, ma'am. Very, very thanks for nice presentation. Any question from attendees? No, ma'am, thanks.
It looks like there are no questions. Better for me.
Take, ma'am, thanks.
Thank you very much. I shall be staying on for a few minutes and then I have to apologize. I will be leaving you. But again, I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. आज के today's workshop keynote speaker Maithul Alam from Canada, World Education, and sir invited for your lecture. Please proceed. म्यूट अनम्यूट म्यूट है सर, आप अनम्यूट कर ले.
Thank you.
Okay,
good afternoon from Vancouver, Canada.
Good afternoon.
I hope all of you and your family are doing well during this pandemic. And of course, I thank the organizer of this wonderful workshop, very timely workshop following the conference. The those who organized, and then this workshop is very meaningful to us. So I decided to join you from Canada because we have a lot, to learn from each other, and most importantly, uh, India has the resource to lead the world. Of course, some other countries around India are also very resourceful. Here today, Professor Marmar Mukhopadhyay, I requested him to join us to give uh, his speech on educational technology, and mainly on the history of educational technology. He talked about pedagogy and also design aspect of educational technology, which is very important. Following his talk, uh, many of you discussed about some of the issues that concerns uh, face-to-face benefits that can be marginalized because of overwhelming use of online and e-learning methods. But from my experience, I would like to introduce myself a little bit. I work for a basic literacy related organization, started with UNICEF project and Save the Children USA project in Bangladesh. And then I moved to BRAC. BRAC is, as you perhaps some of you know, that world's largest NGO for last 40 years, uh, and making significant impact in different countries, now operating in 12 countries. I was responsible to look after education program of BRAC, and uh, following that, my original educational background was statistics. Then I moved to education, thinking that I could be perhaps more benefited myself and I can impact better if I learn educational methods and instructional, psychological, counseling aspect of education. And I went to England to study education technology in 1981. At the time, I had an opportunity to visit Open University of British education system, and I attended some of their classes as a visitor. I also went to UNESCO over there in Paris, and it was very interesting to me at the time. There was nothing online at the time. They were doing on-site, face-to-face workshops, and also sending materials to whom. Only target was that to make the entire human resources educated. In India, some of the states are like that, like West Bengal and Kerala had significant uh, focus on education. But many other countries in that region didn't have, including a country, Western country like England. They initiated this open university to reach out those who are not able to go to university or college because of cost and time and location. Yeah. So I think that was a good start, and I came to Canada to study education after England. I went to Bangladesh and worked there. I am originally from Bangladesh. And what I found in Canada, that education program is totally wrong-headed in many ways. If you look at the First Nation or Native or indigenous people, they are still dropping out 70 to 80% from the education system. So the education system as a whole, all over the world, is not really doing justice to students. It is designed for somebody else, not for the student. And here in Canada, we started online education program through University of British Columbia a long time ago. I have been teaching at the university for last 16 years at University of British Columbia, and also I taught at Athabasca, many of you mentioned, for a couple of years. When they started distance education program based on online, before I went there, they were using similar program like Open University of England, Allama, Iqbal University of Pakistan, Bangladesh Open University, Indira Gandhi Open University, and other open universities like in Indonesia. And all these programs were actually not using technology that much. But today, things are changing. As you can see, we are doing banking using technology. Bank machine gives us money without an error. Same way, some medical fields are using, doctors are doing surgery with technology. Businesses are now thriving using technology. Many of the online businesses like, Amazon, eBay, for example, doing trade using technology. So for education, it could be possible, but unfortunately, university professors, as we are, we know less than school teachers in education. And school teachers know less than their students. So where is the education then? Education is far, far behind. It is not making the opportunity for students to learn and build the world. The world needs to be rebuilt after this corona problem. And it has to be like a global village. We cannot be isolated anymore. As you can see, the virus came from one place and spreaded all over the world so quickly. The same way, the issue of environment is affecting all of us. It is happening in one place like Sundarban in India, Bangladesh, Amazon forest in other place. Global warming is happening all over the places because of the technological advancement, industrial advancement, destruction of environment, climate change is happening. And recently, some of the scholars are saying climate change issue is going to be more dangerous than coronavirus issue. So that means we have to actually educate ourselves. As you know, the basic foundational knowledge, that health literacy, is not anywhere successfully implemented in the school curriculum system, in university, uh, in any lifelong education setup as well. As a result, in America today, world's most advanced, they call it so-called civilized country, more than 1 lakh persons are dying per day, which is very significant. Uh, no, 1,000 persons dying per day. So that means health literacy is not there, including head of America. He is not even understanding the need for social distancing and some of the precautions. He is advocating other way around. Only interest is in the politics. Anyways, I want to play a short video, 1 or 2 minutes, and then we'll continue a little bit of explanation. This is from just last week, one interview between Rahul Gandhi and Nobel laureate Professor Muhammad Yunus. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Yes.
Oh, I was trying to play a short clip, but I don't think it is happening.
Better speak.
Yeah, thank you. It was very important. Anyways, the talk was about uh, the world is changing and we cannot go back to the old world in terms of economy. Economy is devastated and uh, it could be worse in the coming days. Uh, of course, uh, I don't know. I should. Sorry.
कुछ मैसेज ICPR का है जी.
I don't know. Can you still hear me, please?
Now we speak, sir.
Okay, thank you. Muhammad Yunus is actually asked me to share his video. This is why I wanted, but it didn't happen. Anyways, this is one of the problem with technology, that we, even with great intention, cannot do some of these things. And of course, some of you mentioned about digital divide, especially Professor Mukhopadhyay mentioned about the digital divide, not because only of economic reasons, but also due to lack of skill reasons. I teach online courses in the area of educational technology for more than 16 years. And I can not see that this is a perfect way to actually promote knowledge, uh, uh, especially from the perspective of assessment. Uh, our participants are more of self-directed. That is why they are very uh, much engaged themselves, self-motivated, and they are leaders in the related field. As a result, their participation is very, very, uh, I would say, active. But if you do this throughout the nation, first of all, to reduce the digital divide problem, we have to have technology. Now, we may say that cell phone, like those with the large screen, Android phone can help. But again, there are some problems uh, in relation to health issues. So it is better to have actually computer for students, not the cell phone in the long run. And where is the budget? Government, education ministry for university UGC are not thinking about increasing budget. And after this corona problem, there will be a serious consequence and budget cut in the area of educational technology integration. And that will be a big problem for innovation and development in the field. However, we are the teachers. We need to be able to teach, and the students needs to learn. So what we can do, we can, whatever resource we have today, we can mobilize all these and customize the way local technology can be used, local resource can be used to have actually community-based educational activities of the students using distance learning approach. I think India, Bangladesh, and many other developing countries will have some sunshine after this big mess, big cloud. Uh, uh, the world is changing. These countries will recover faster than Western countries. I think Western countries like USA most, significantly will get the hit of this virus problem. And recently, New York governor requested Bill Gates for some funding to run their schools, since New York is doing better in terms of virus management. Unfortunately, they did not get the benefit out of the program that Gates Foundation, with a $500,000, they started a small project. It didn't work out very well. There are many problems. Teacher training is a big issue. And of course, they have to know how to really use technology to engage students and personalizing them in the education system. And I strongly feel that humanizing education is a huge issue. How do we humanize, like human touch? I thought we can do it in a different way. I have started a small project in Bangladesh just to address this corona problem. And now we have an idea. The idea is we start with active learning principles in the rural area of Bangladesh, in the village where I born. And we selected a school, all their students in that neighborhood, we set up home-based schools for the students. They are mostly from poor families. They cannot afford like a private tutor, paid tutor. We just got some volunteers with a small amount of money. And now for last 4 months, we started with health literacy. We wanted to forget about school curriculum initially. Then we started with cultural literacy, national anthem and all these things. Then we started with agriculture, that the kids will plant vegetables. And from there, they will start learning. So we gave thousands of plants. This is what is an alternative to the technology that we are using, the human touch. But of course, technology will help more, will facilitate this more. But in rural India, rural Bangladesh, everywhere, if we want to have education is our goal. It's not the medium, the technology. The curriculum is our goal. What we want to teach, we have to teach something that is useful for them. Today, people are just dying for nothing in USA, 1,000 persons per day for nothing, because they do not, distance themselves. They do not care because of the attitude. This kind of attitude could be formed at the school. Even the leader of the country, cultural literacy should have an impact in his life, in the school system. The same way, economic literacy aspect. Today, we are training students at university, college to go for job market. But you can see Canada lost a lot of jobs, like now 12% unemployed. America has 20% unemployed now, from 6-7% to 20%. So how you can handle this? The best way we'll have today is with the distance and lifelong learning program. Many of you mentioned about short courses. We can prepare our students, adults, for the job market, as well as for them to start their own business. So these are the things we have to think about when we design our programs. And of course, equity is very important, and language aspect is important. In India, English is a common language for all the 20 major languages. In Bangladesh is mainly one language, Bangla. But many other countries with multicultural background, language is a huge issue, but people can handle that. Now with the technology, like with the cell phone, even those who are blind, they can do day-to-day things. I do not want to take too much of time. I could be perhaps more effective if we were talking about technological aspect of teaching and learning, especially from the philosophical foundation basis. We teach actually in our course, I teach foundation of education technology as well. And we have one of the main component of it is a philosophical foundation of education technology. So we have to give this foundation to the teachers, why they are teaching, what they are teaching, and is it actually appropriate and it is useful for the students, and how they can create knowledge, not as the teacher, but as the moderator or facilitator. So some of the learning activity, active learning activity, could help from constructivist approach to get knowledge that locally available from the resource persons around, among the parents, among the working society members. They can be included in the system, maintaining social distancing as well. And at this present time, and in the future, they can perhaps go for some sort of school community partnership initiatives. This is one of the courses also I teach at the university. We have to have collaboration, industry, university, collaboration is needed. We have to have partnership with the community organizations, social organizations, societies, and also we have to develop participatory action research system to understand what kind of knowledge we can provide effectively, which is actually useful. What kind of knowledge is most worth for the student themselves, for their personal development, for their family, and also for the society. Of course, we must not prepare students for multinational corporations. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, I would be happy to talk.
Okay, sir. Some question on question answer panel. आवाज आ रही है सर? आवाज
क्वेश्चन आंसर पैनल का छोड़ देने तो गड़बड़ आ जाएगा।
आवाज नहीं आ रही मेरी ना शिवभूषण जी?
के बाद
हाँ बोले सर, आवाज आ रही है आपकी, बोलिए।
हमारी आवाज नहीं आ रही?
आ रही बोलिए सर।
शेयर किए। हाँ
और का
आवाज आ रही?
हाँ ऊपर
पे आ रही है ना?
बनो ही है दो कमरा।
हाँ सर। ना यही होता है कि किसी को बोल दो ना। महतूज आलम सर?
Yes, please.
ये क्वेश्चन सब क्वेश्चन एंड क्वेश्चन आंसर पैनल उस पे है, आप प्लीज सी क्वेश्चन।
Yes. I did not. Can you repeat?
Question and answer participants के near question and answer show 8 question. How far online teaching can replace face-to-face teaching?
It depends. Many of the programs you can teach fully online. Say, for example, if you want to teach, give MBA, Masters in Business, you can do it online. It could be even more effective. You can simulate a lot of important, you can present case studies, and of course, it has to be peer driven, like student will teach students. So this is why if we design some active learning strategies, then actually we can get much greater benefit out of it. You can teach math, you can teach sciences. Many of the rural schools in India and Bangladesh and many other countries do not have very high quality science teachers. So artificial intelligence and machine learning can improve the situation in those schools and can reduce the gap. If you look at Khan Academy programs, Khan is also, his mother was Indian and father was Bangladeshi, is actually there around. And this Khan Academy is very popular. I wanted to show you a video, but I unfortunately could not link up. And actually Bill Gates mentioned.
Any question from panelists? No. Many thanks, sir, Matul sir, for your presentation.
Thank you.
After this, Professor R.C. Sinha, sir, Chairperson ICPR, join with us and respectfully call him present their paper or their lecture.
Oh, thank you very much. Am I audible to you?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay, so first of all, I offer my namaskar to organizers and all participants and all the speakers. Wonderful lectures we have heard from Dr. Mukhopadhyay and very the lady from Mauritius. I don't know. I don't remember the name. Garima, perhaps. And very recently, we have heard very composed and very calm and quiet delivery relating to the e-learning and relating to the online education. I had some other engagement. I tell you, I was in a fix to attend this or to attend the another engagement, which was regarding new education policy. And the Prime Minister of India has to give the address. But I prefer, being a student of philosophy, I prefer this course. And really, I tell you that I have been benefited a lot. I did not imagine that the deliberation will be of such a good quality. And the presenters, they are of very high quality. And I thank organizers for inviting such good experts, resource persons. My discipline is, as you know, my discipline is philosophy. And at present, I was a professor in philosophy in Patna University. Patna is a very remote, on the eastern side of India. But Patna is a very famous for many reasons. So Nalanda University is very nearby. So I am fortunate to say that I belong to the place where Lord Buddha got his enlightenment under Bodhi tree. Nalanda University, Vikramshila University, these two very renowned universities, they the land of Lord Buddha, the land of Mahavir, the land of Guru Gobind Singh. My university is Patna University. Patna University is a very old university. Previously, it was associated with Calcutta University, but later on, Patna became independent and it covered Orissa, Assam, Sikkim, Nepal, and now there are so many universities. So Patna University is a residential university. After retiring from here, I joined Indian Council of Philosophical Research, which is situated in New Delhi. Its branch office is in Lucknow. And you will be surprised to know that in India, for only one subject, philosophy, we have got a very, very good library in Lucknow. The library can match any international library. So for only one subject, the library is very, very rich. And I had been visiting several countries, but I did not find a library of only one subject better than the library situated in Lucknow. So we have got Indian Council of Philosophical Research. We have got rather academic center in Lucknow, and certainly everybody, it is in approach is interdisciplinary. So I give the open invitation for scholars from abroad, scholars of other disciplines, and Indian Council of Philosophical Research is also doing a great service to Indian students, as well as it is an international body. We invite international scholars cutting across the barriers. It is not confined only to philosophy, but to very many disciplines. We recently, 2-3 days back, we proposed to invite an eminent professor from MIT. Though he belongs to the discipline of chemistry, but he is the director of the Vedantic Center in the MIT in Massachusetts. I had visited that center. So the Indian Council of Philosophical Research, which is under the Ministry of Education, so that is serving doing a great job for a student, because we award at least 150 scholarships for junior research fellows, and then for senior fellows, general fellows, and national fellows. So we have got a very good infrastructure for doing research. And in Delhi, so why I say the brief history of the Indian Philosophical Council, because in this Corona period, this council has done a lot of seminars, and it has conducted very many functions, and everything has done online. So how the e-learning is important.
45 रुपए करीब
We conducted very good fellows meeting.
सर पेज पे ही रखिए. Some technical issue. RC Sinha sir. Voice.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, sir.
It happens. Telling that in this Corona period, in this pandemic situation, the ICPR every day conducting national and international webinars. That is the beauty of the e-learning and the beauty of the online. So yesterday also we discussed in great length about the new education policy. So certainly in this change situation, in this changing situation, e-learning and teaching online, they are very, very important. We cannot deny the importance of the e-learning. I can narrate one incident. I was living in USA. I was in the Pittsburgh. I happened to visit Harvard University, and there is a one professor, Professor Sanders. He gives his lecture on justice. So in the classroom, it was very difficult to get a seat. He was explaining the concept of justice in such a fascinating manner that classroom was full. It was full. So we cannot sit. I also wanted to listen. So naturally, we decided to listen to the lecture online. So we find that e-learning is a great help to the network problem prevails here in Patna. I'm sorry to say that I'm locked down in the remote place of India, and at present I'm in Patna. So from Patna I'm speaking. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I was telling that some technical problem maybe. So I was just narrating the story that how the e-learning has become very much favorite for students and the senior students. So I consider, though I retired 16 years back, but I consider as a student. So I wanted to listen the lecture of Professor Sanders on the concept of justice, but I could not get entry into the room because it was fully packed. It is so fascinating. It was. So I had a chance to listen his lecture online. So the beauty lies, and the cost is also very less. We can learn from the best teachers of the world, either from the Cambridge or Oxford or from the Harvard, sitting in a remote place. These are the advantages of the online learning or the e-learning. So, but there is a big but. But is very important. The students from the backward area, especially the Indians, because India is a land of villages, and in villages we have got poor connectivity. In spite of our good wishes, in spite of our urge for listening the best lectures, the best courses of the world, we fail to do it, and we lag behind. And in one sense, backward. And to remain backward is an evil. So in the field of knowledge, if because of the technological advancement, we can have access to the best of teachers, and we can access to the best of institutions. But on the other hand, we can be deprived because of the network problem, because of the technological problem. So this technology, on the one hand, it is a boon. On the other hand, it is not a boon because everybody cannot afford. So I must cut short. So the new policy is stipulated by our education minister, who belongs to that region of your region, Dr. Ramesh Pokhariyal. He is a great visionary, great poet, and the new education policy gives emphasis on the e-learning, gives emphasis on the distance learning, and the great visionary, the Prime Minister, he has got fond for e-learning and fond for this technology. So India has entered into this era of e-learning, and in this pandemic situation, though this coronavirus has damaged the entire humanity, it has damaged us a lot. The educational institutions in India have been worst affected because they have been closed. Even the ICPR, Indian Council of Philosophical Research, which has sponsored this program, e-learning challenges and opportunities. So this was also closed for a month because of this coronavirus. But the webinar and the e-learning system, and through this technology, with the help of the technology, we were very much active. Daily we were conducting some sort of webinar, some sorts of official meetings too. So I told you that fellows meet of more than 150 students we have conducted nicely. So this is a boon, and in pandemic situation, we find when we are isolated. Isolation is certainly it creates depression. Isolation, the society in which we are going in future, we are going to live, that will be the new normal society. Normally, after the post-COVID situation, post-COVID world will be different world. The new normal society, because we cannot think about the e-learning or we cannot think about the online education without considering the actual social situation, the situation in which humanity is living at present. We can just talk high about e-learning, but the ground reality will be something different if we do not consider the post-corona scenario, which I call the new normal society. At present, we had been living a very comfortable, very normal society. We were living in a normal society, and education was also human-centric. So personal touch in the classroom, that is a great thing, because if we analyze the meaning of the teaching, in the words of Vivekananda, education is the manifestation of perfection in man. If we consider this definition of Vivekananda, this Vedantic definition of Vivekananda, and India is certainly a land of culture. So Indians still believe in the in the version of Shankaracharya and Vivekananda. So if we consider education as the manifestation of the perfection within man, in man, so that will create a great problem, because in this pandemic situation, or in the new normal society, we cannot be true to this type of definition fostered by our ancient saints and seers. And India is true to the to its tradition. India is true to its traditional mode of learning. So we cannot, even in the new policy, new education policy 2020, the emphasis has been given on Indianness. The emphasis has been given on our culture. So Indian culture and Indianness, but our Prime Minister emphasizes that we should be true to our tradition, we should be true to our culture, but we should not lag behind the world. So we have to use the technology. And he has, the new education policy has stipulated 5 points. So let me remember, first is accessibility. The second is equity. The third is quality. And fourth is affordability. And fifth is accountability. So if we just consider these 5 points, 5 pillars of new education policy, and this when we are talking about the e-learning, or when we are talking about the online education, so we have to consider the new education policy too. So if we consider these 5 pillars of the new education policy, we find a great emphasis has been given on the e-learning, on the technology. But on the other hand, we cannot afford to dehumanize our education. If we talk about the new normal, I have developed this the new normal concept in a philosophical way. Being the student of philosophy, so I conceived that the new normal society will have 3 components. One is the survival, the other is the social distancing. And professor from Canada, he mentioned about social distancing. So survival, social distancing, and compassion. So compassion is a very important component. And compassion has got 2 aspects. One is the empathy and the other is the sympathy. Empathy means feeling into, and sympathy is feeling towards others. So a lot of laborers and a lot of downtrodden people who are deprived from their hearts, deprived from their job, they are coming to their native place. So what about the education of these people? Can be just think about e-learning and think about online education for these deprived and marginalized people? To them I call Simant. And any education, any system of education or any methodology of education cannot be effective if we do not consider these people, those who are marginalized, to whom I call Simant. And moreover, the question of the Dr. Sushil Tiwari also asked about the personal teaching. That is a very, very important. I consider it, because the character formation, we cannot build the nation, we cannot form the character by distant education, because we will lack human touch. This may be a critical point, and the world has to think about, if we lose man, if we lose humanity, then what education will do? What for? Education cannot educate robots. Education is not a learning. A robot can learn and unlearn, but a robot cannot be educated. The education is the cultivation of values, and education can cultivate values only not to robots. A man can be educated, but robots cannot. Robots can learn and unlearn, but a man can be educated and uneducated. A man can remain illiterate and he can learn. So education is the holistic concept. Man has got three aspects: body, mind, and spirit. This education one cannot be understood as educated if he is expert in computer. If e-learning has been successful and the man loses his values, man is primarily a psychophysical cum spiritual being. But if he is trained, if he is physically trained, if he is psychologically trained, but he has got no spirit, awareness, or the human touch, then he cannot be called educated. He can be literate, but he can be a technocrat. And India can give to the world, we cannot give technology to the world. We can give technocrats who can serve in America and England, but if we can give to world, that will be that Indian philosophy or value system or the culture, the Indian culture, which is very much prestigious one. And in the new education policy, this culture aspect in education has been greatly emphasized. So we are at present, though in Corona period, we are using this technology. We are conducting webinar, and certainly it is beneficial. But I feel, though I may be considered as conventional, I do realize the advantages of this technology. I do realize that e-learning will be very effective. It will cost less. It will be very helpful. But in spite of that, the total, if we talk about the integral aspect of education, if we talk about the saints and seers in Indian, for instance, I always say, and even that Indian philosophy, which is the most prestigious subject of India in the context of the world. So rishis and munis, they have evolved Indian philosophy. No teacher or the teacher of the classroom or the professional philosophers, they have not built up the Indian systems of philosophy. And certainly now we have to work out and develop how this value systems, which is most important value part of education, is very important, and the personal touch is very important. How this can be done, how this aspect can be attended fully by e-learning and the online teaching, and that is a problem. And in spite of admitting all the benefits of the e-learning, there is a question, the question mark, and the scientists and the technicians and the philosophers too, they have to work out how this education, it is, we are bound to change this system. We are condemned to adopt this this system, this technology devoid of human touch. But we have to think twice that how we educate people in integral way. Mahatma Gandhi also talked that education will be complete when it trains head, hand, and heart. So head and hand we can attend, but the heart, that is missing in this e-learning. So that requires to be attended. That requires to be worked out. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. And I had expressed my off the hand thinking, because I'm not an expert in the area which you have selected, but I was speaking from the core of my heart, without applying, without knowing the subtleties of this your discipline. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. It was really a very privileged lecture for all of us, and you save this lot of time for all of us, because I know your schedule was very busy yesterday, and today also you were telling in the morning that after having a too much hectic schedule, you are saving time for this workshop. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I have a few questions, and I have mixed up them, and I am making them one question. Sir, can you please answer, sir?
Yes.
Sir.
Yeah, please.
So somebody is asking that how to bridge the great digital divide between the urban and rural students, so that rural India is not left out.
How to bridge the gulf.
Great digital divide between urban and rural students. It's a great problem we all are facing.
Certainly, it is a great problem. So how to bridge the gulf between urban and rural divide? This problem is not isolated one. This problem is right from beginning, and urban people are well off, elite people, and the rural people are deprived, downtrodden, and to whom I call because still we have not advanced. Roads are not very good, and connectivity is very poor. So in order to bridge the gulf, that has been a very great problem since India became independent. We are trying hard. So naturally, but nowadays you will find laptop and at least mobile in the hands of most of the villagers and the common man, though they may not be in a position to use the technology in efficient way. That requires, in order to bridge the gulf gap, naturally that requires awareness. So certainly the social workers and the teachers, they have to make aware, they have to train them, because I know that even in Patna is a capital of Bihar, very many people, they use mobile, they have got very costly mobile, but they can only talk. They cannot even use it to make payments. And they cannot use to attend such type of discussion and webinars, though they are having. So that is also a great problem, not only in the gap between the rural and the urban, the gap that technology awareness. People are not very much keen to learn also. They, they, the senior people, they go on. Rightly, it has been said that young people, they are more technology friendly. So we will have a hope, and certainly the role of teachers, because teachers are spread in each and every village, because in a small places also schools are there. So it is the job of the teachers to train the villagers. The economy is a problem, but it is not much more problem nowadays. They can afford to have mobile, and most of the people are having mobile, but they do not know how to use it. So here social workers and the teachers, they have got responsibilities
Sir,
to
sir,
make
thank
them
you.
aware, to train. Thank you very much.
Sir, one more question, please, sir.
May I
Sir.
just add to this question?
Sir, please.
Yes, sir.
Raised.
Yes.
I think it is very critical.
Sir.
As Professor Sinha mentioned, that the teachers has to become engaged in learning themselves and teach others in the village. So community-based resource center, learning resource center could be a help. Most importantly, nationwide literacy campaign needs to be in the area of computer literacy and media literacy. And some NGOs, non-government organizations can help in that area in collaboration with government and also international NGOs. So this is one of the critical area can be addressed as part of policy. If the government starts with computer literacy campaign, then this gap can be reduced because it is skill oriented. A lot of people got very high quality cell phones, but they cannot use it properly, especially for learning, unless they are guided.
Sir, one more question from the all panelists. Sir, somebody is asking that can we replace face-to-face education by this online education, and what about the practical subjects?
So, am I to respond?
Sir. Yes, sir, please.
Okay. So this is a very ticklish problem. This face-to-face education, I think, in the present scenario, cannot be replaced, at least in India, because India is still, Indian mindset is still very much tradition bound, which cherish our value systems. So all of a sudden, this abstract way of teaching cannot be accepted all of a sudden, but mindset is changing. Indians are also changing, and a day will come when we will be expert in online learning, and to a great extent, we have made a great attempt, but at present, to my mind, at present we are not prepared to change the entire system which we are cherishing since long. And face-to-face learning is actually, that is education. I do think that education is cultivated. And the teachers have got two roles. One is to impart knowledge. So imparting knowledge, that can be done through online basis or through e-learning. Imparting knowledge can be done. We can impart knowledge, but the other aspect, personal touch and creating human being who can build the nation. That part is that we have to put a question mark. The third aspect is creating knowledge. Creating knowledge, that also we can do. Imparting knowledge and creating knowledge, these two essential functions of a teacher we can do. But we cannot create a human being who can serve the nation, who can build the nation, because certainly abstract learning cannot be face-to-face learning, and face-to-face teaching has got different flavor, which I prefer.
May I had the same question before.
Sir, please.
I want to just explain a little bit my position on this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
If you think about very early childhood education, primary education, and of course the beginning of secondary education, even up to college education, many of the students needs a personal face-to-face approach. Especially the preschool students, early childhood education. You cannot teach the basic stuff very quickly using technology, but if you integrate technology with education, then you can facilitate both. So you are actually making it very close for them to understand using the technical knowledge that the teacher can give, and use technology to bring a lot of information to the student and examples. The most important aspect is the teacher will have to be very careful about writing instructional objectives based on which they can actually promote outcome-based education. And of course, learning must be individualized. For online approach, sometimes you can individualize better because students take personal initiative. But think about students with disabilities, learning problems. Now, because of the coronavirus, a lot of students are suffering from the trauma, psychological problems as well. So all these things, new issues are coming up, and technology cannot handle everything. So this is why we have to have a community-based approach, especially in the rural areas, to involve the resources, resourceful people in the education system.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir, the theoretical part of today's session has been finished now, and now we have arranged some practical part for daily. And for today's practical part, I would like to call an institution. Some representative is present here, named Telos. Telos is a cloud-based education technology platform that delivers the potential of efficiency of all educationalist institutions, enterprises, helping them conserve time and capital while increasing overall productivity, accompanied by improved outcomes. That is the motto of this Telos, and we have combined hands with this Telos. And I'm asking, I think Vikas would be present there to tell us something positive, something practical part we are waiting for.
Not joining tomorrow. Today not joining, tomorrow session started.
Okay. He is not available. He is not available today, but from tomorrow we will be including a practical part.
Tomorrow starting session from practical session.
Okay. First session would be of practical, and then the theoretical part from tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Then I think
योगेन सर कुछ कहना चाह रहे थे.
Okay, sir.
सिन्हा सर चले गए, सिन्हा सर से पूछना था.
अच्छा.
सिन्हा सर चले गए, उनसे पूछा था ना कि उन्होंने एक बताया था कि वो ई लर्निंग के जो 5 पिलर हैं, तो
then I think
क्या था वो पूछा था उनसे.
कंक्लूड कर दे.
ओके सर.
हां, फिफ्थ क्या?
आज का क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन खत्म हो गया. इसके बाद हम लोग कंक्लूड कर दें. इसे कंक्लूड है सर. योगेंद्र सर. Yogan sir, are you hearing me?
आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
ओके सर. आज का सेशन हम लोग
बहुत धन्यवाद. मैतुल आलम सर शुरू से बैठे हुए हैं और जबकि कनाडा में इस समय रात के 1 बज रहे होंगे.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for all supports and giving us too much time.
What we can do basically, if we get some papers, we will publish both from India and Canada to World Education Canada. We are happy to do that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I hope something will come up so that
definitely, sir.
At least philosophical perspective is there when we think about policy making, about technology integration in education, and addressing the huge issue of a new normal in the future, because education must be to prepare the human resources of the world that is different, is not the same.
Sir, definitely.
Any other question from any panelist?
Question?
Maybe if any. No.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. We will meet at the same time on tomorrow.
Okay, bye.